Okay, I'm just gonna outright say it, and I'm not using any future Trunks information from Dragon Ball Super because I'm doing this in two separate, in a way where I'm using Dragon Ball Super continuity of Dragon Ball, then Dragon Ball Z, then Dragon Ball Super, and another continuity of Dragon Ball Z. I mean Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT. Each two separate continuities. And I'm using the Dragon Ball GT continuity where Future Trunks never reappeared, so I can only go off his Dragon Ball Z feats from that continuity. I know, cop out, but I have my reasons. Since Dragon Ball Super Future Trunks will get his time to shine when he gets his full powers. Yes, we all know he's getting trained by Vegeta, and we all know he's going to get a power up. So why not wait until then to use any Dragon Ball Super feats? Right? Now that's out of the way, let's talk about how Future Trunks. Future Trunks being a half Saiyan and half human, then provides him with all the benefits of being a Saiyan, including the fact that they have a naturally higher strength, speed, and durability compared to humans. And the fact that they have a special ability called Zenkai, which if they take a mortal wound, like a wound that would kill them eventually if not treated, like a busted up body, in Goku's case during the Saiyan saga, they will receive a power increase. But that's only if they make a full recovery. So no, you can't just shoot Future Trunks in the chest and then him gain power and not heal. It won't work like that. I can't just shoot him in the chest. He can suddenly gain his Zenkai boost in there. No, he has to heal before he gains the boost. That's why Vegeta didn't gain a boost after his death during the Buu Saga. He didn't get a chance to heal. So no Zenkai boost. And it has to be a mortally wounding wound, meaning he has to be dying from it. So, moving on from that, Future Trunks also carries around a sword, which he can use for in a variety of ways. He is very skilled at using it. And that is the only other piece of equipment he carries that is a battle item. He carries the time machine on hand, but that's not a battle item. And I know what you're thinking, what about senzu beans? He's in the future where the senzu bean plant is dead. This is where the fight will be taken. So he has no way of getting them unless he knew in advance that he was going to be fighting Silver, which I will not allow, because then Silver gets prep time. I mean, he could stock up on some Sonic the Hedgehog items that would make this fight way, way too broken in Silver's favor. 999 backup lives plus a lot of the bullcrap items that you do not want to give him. So, please do not do that. And so, no senzu beans. He's not allowed to have them because he would need prep time to get them. Now, he would have to know that he would be fighting someone. So he'd have to. Because the only way to get him is to go back in time and go, hey, Corn, can I get a few senzu beans? Here you go. Oh, and why else would he do that other than to go? Then the fact that he knows he's going to be in a fight. So, no sensu beans. He's not going to be doing that. Now, moving on to ki. Ki is a metaphysical energy that is made up of mind, and your physical body's energy, and courage, and can be positive or negative. Obviously, since we're talking about future Trunks, it's positive. It can be used in a variety of ways, but future Trunks' most signature ways are the using it for increasing his strength and speed and durability. Just like every other character in Dragon Ball Z who can use ki. Now, the other basic way ki is used is for high-speed flight, which your flight speed is equal to your land speed using ki. Meaning, if I'm just running, meaning put me side by side with another me, and one me is using ki to increase his running with, well, two me's. One me's flying using ki, one me's running using ki, and one's just running. The one who's running is going to be behind the one who's flying, while the one who's using ki to run is going to be tied with the one who's flying. If that makes sense. And to you. He can also use ki to enter other beings with ki, and organic beings who are completely organic, unlike 17 and 18, who are cyborgs, have ki. I mean, 17 and 18 don't have actual ki; they have artificial ki, which cannot be detected. So, cyborgs and other partial artificial beings that are mostly artificial, not just a cybernetic arm. I mean mostly artificial, or at least half artificial. So like Android 17 and 18 cannot be detected. Also, completely artificial characters, there's like 60 cannot be detected. Characters like Cell, though, who is artificial but organic, can be detected. So any character who falls into a category similar to him can be detected. And any other organic, naturally born entity can be detected using the ki sense. Moving on. He uses his ki for 3 signature type of attacks. The Buster Cannon, which is a pretty powerful attack and his second most used attack. Make that 4. Or his Burning Attack, which is his signature attack, and which is a long range energy ball that he blasts after waving his hands around for a couple of seconds. And then, in his most powerful attack, the Heat Dome, where he either attacks an enemy that he launched into the air, or an enemy who jumped into the air by their own volition. He attacks them by shooting an energy blast upward at full power, or his strongest attack. Now, being a Saiyan, Future Trunks has 3 forms, each with their own benefits and disadvantages. Well, except for the first one. The first one, Super Saiyan, multiplies his power by the factor of 50, meaning you take how much Future Trunks can lift, and how fast he can run, and times that by 50. And you get his power and speed while he's in his Super Saiyan form. This form is his most balanced out form because it has moderate ki consumption and provides an increase. Race without making prolonged battles a near impossibility. Moving on, his ascended Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan second grade is a 1.5 times factor increase. What do I mean by that? Well, you take his Super Saiyan speed and power and multiply it by 1.5. And that's how much his ascended / second grade Super Saiyan form is. And here's the thing. This form only has one weakness, which I will cover in a sec when I talk about all of Future Trunks' weaknesses. Is moving. You know what? I'll cover it right now. Now, it's the fact that prolonged battles is not a good idea in this form. It's not impossible, but you're going to have to be very careful and make sure every attack that involves a large amount of ki counts. You cannot miss attacks that involve you blasting a large amount of ki, or just pretty much ki attacks in general that are not small energy balls. You cannot afford to miss in this form if you want to go for prolonged combat. Moving on. Ultra Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan grade, Super Saiyan third grade. Now, this form is basically an increase by 1.5 again. Only this time, it's only to power, meaning his speed in Ultra Super Saiyan is the same as his speed in Ascended Super Saiyan. So that's one disadvantage of this form. The other, the fact that prolonged combat in this form is not only impractical, it's almost impossible. You'd have to you'd have to make every punch and every ki blast, not just the big ones count. You'd have to make everything count, and it's not a good idea. But this form does have a lot of power, so if you can utilize it on your opponent, I would recommend it. Unless you're going for prolonged combat, which I would not. Moving on. Trunks' power level at the end of Dragon Ball Z and his weaknesses. Let's talk about his power level first. Using power scaling and a bunch of other complicated math equations that I don't want to bore you with right now, I discovered that at the end, in base form, Trunks' power level was 25,200,000. Now compare that to Goku's power level in his base form when he was fighting Frieza. He had a power level of 3 million. Now compare that to Future Trunks' 25 million, and you can see the power difference. Now, then using all the Super Saiyan multipliers, and you get where I'm going. Now, his weaknesses. His only weakness outside of the weaknesses I mentioned of each of his forms was the fact that he is a greenhorn when it comes to combat. He is not as he is definitely more experienced in combat than someone like Hercule or any of the other little World Martial Arts Championship people, but he is nowhere near as experienced as even characters like Tien or Krillin. Let alone has experience as Piccolo or Vegeta or Goku when it comes to combat, and will will not recognize or register slight when he's got an advantage, when he's at a disadvantage, or even disadvantages of the form he's taking. Or so he's a greenhorn through and through when it comes to combat. Now let's get on to Silver the Hedgehog and talk about his ability set. Okay, it's time to talk about Silver's abilities. Now, Silver is a hedgehog. Now, that might not make that much sense and to bring that up, but in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe, being of the hedgehog species is a rare thing and affords you some basic traits known as every hedgehog in the Sonic universe. Earth is able to use a super state, and I mean a true super state, and they're also able to run extremely fast, as naturally. So, even if they're not Silver Shadow or Sonic fast, they're by nature, the hedgehog species is extremely fast. Just thought I would mention that. It's a part of his character. One thing Silver has over every other member of the hedgehog race, his psychokinesis. Now, his psychokinesis allows him to do a lot of things, from paralyzing foes to picking them up and throwing them around using his mind, throwing objects at them picking up objects to build a defensive wall, etc., etc. Heck, he can even use his psychokinesis to create powerful attacks made out of pure psychic energy. Like psychic energy blades, energy blast, and let's see, what else did it say? Okay, from that I got my notes right here, so let's see. Okay, energy blast, SR blades, pulses, and even bursts of energy that can paralyze the target. Yep, that about covers it. Now on to his physical prowess. He is physically just as strong and as fast as Shadow the Hedgehog, who is slightly stronger than Sonic, but slightly lower than Sonic. Now, moving on, we have... let's see, what else? Do I need to talk about Silver? Oh, right! Silver's one transformation, and then I'm moving on to Silver's weaknesses. This is... let's see, what else? Okay. Silver has the ability to use the 7 Chaos Emeralds, which are in his future, and he can gather without having to be prepared. Oh, I'm gonna have to be in a big fight, so he will be using them. It allows him to increase his power and speed by turning into Super Silver. Oh, and before I go any further, I forgot to mention, Super Silver can use his Psychokinesis for high-speed flight, and can also use it to increase his speed and burst, similar to Sonic using the supersonic boost. And he uses the burst to keep up with Sonic when using the supersonic boost. So yeah, just thought I'd mention that before I get into Super Silver. Super Silver has his powers and psychic powers, physical power, and speed all increased each by the same factor. And what is that? Well, you multiply all those things by, let's see, what was it again? 873,698. Now, by using this form, Silver can fight and fly without using his psychokinesis. And he can also use his psychokinesis again for another burst of speed, increasing his speed even further from what it already is when just using this form's flight. Right. Now moving on to Silver's weaknesses. One, Super Silver's biggest and only true weakness for the form is the time limit. It can only last 1 minute before it dissipates. Now, Silver himself has one big weakness. The fact that what was it again? Oh yeah. The fact that he doesn't have much experience using physical combat. Meaning punches and kicks. He easily telegraphs his attacks. He's not a greenhorn in combat in general. It's just he's a greenhorn when it comes to physical attacks, making his punches and kicks easily telegraphed. So, now that that's said, let's get on to the AMVs, where you can watch their feats in action and then speculate before I do this big surprise reveal. And then after that reveal, I will explain why the character who won. Okay? See you on the other side, guys.
Time 迫る限りのあるこの世は 'Cause every night I will save your life, and every night I will be with you. 'Cause every night I still lay awake and I dream of the night solution. 'Cause every night I will make it right, and every night I will come to you. But every night it just stays the same in my dream of the night solution. I dream of the night solution. 'Cause every night I will make it right, and every night I will come to you. But every night it just stays the same in my dream of the night solution. And you'll see what will be, what will be. And you'll see you'll see, yeah, this is my dream. Every night, I'll always
Okay. Put your pitchforks and torches down and give me a chance to explain. Okay. I know what you're thinking. How can Silver win his what was it again? His super form runs out of power and it only lasts a minute. Yes, and how long did the Dragon Ball Z fight between Frieza and Goku while they were in Super Saiyan form last after Frieza damaged Namek's core? He said 5 minutes, right? So all those panels and all those panels, if you were reading the manga, or all those episodes, if you were reading or if you were watching the anime, lasted only 5 minutes. So a decently long fight a small fight in length can happen in 1 to 5 minutes. Especially in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe. Now, Here's the thing, though. Oh, using power scaling, I managed to figure out what Future Trunks' actual lifting strength and his speed in combat would be. And same thing, and I managed to figure out Silver's speed and strength as well. Now let's go over the results. In their base form, Silver is at a 131,512.5 tons when it comes to strength. He's able to lift that much. Right. Versus Silver, who's only able to lift about 36 tons. Tons if you round up. I'm not going to tell you how many numbers came up when I did the math, but let's just say there are a lot of numbers past the decimal point, so I'm rounding it up to 36. Now, that looks like a no-brainer. Future Trunks easily stomps in the strength category, right? Well, when you multiply the 36 tons by the 873,698, you get you get Super Silver being able to lift 31 million in 64,189 tons. And again, that number's rounded up. So, yeah. Just like the multiplier for Super Silver. So, don't even bother. If you want, just ask me down below in the comments for the full numbers, because I'm not going to state all those numbers past the decimal point. If you want to know, just for strength alone, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 numbers past the decimal point. That's why I'm not saying them all. So in Super Silver, he's at 31,064,189 tons. Well, how much is Future Trunks able to lift as a Super Saiyan? He's able to lift 6,575,625 tons. Not even close. Well, let's try Ascended Super Saiyan. 9,863,437.5. Notice how I mentioned that decimal, because that's only one decimal. Now, again, that's not that close. Well, move on to Ultra Super Saiyan. And how much is that? 14,795,156.25 tons. His maximum, and he's only about a half at his maximum, half of Super Silver in strength. And meaning Super Silver is double his power. Well, let's take a look at speed. Certainly Future Trunks wins there. Well, in base form, he's at 12,518,100 miles per hour. That is Future Trunks' speed in base. Whereas Silver in base is 761 miles per hour. Now compare their super forms. Future Trunks in Super Saiyan is 625,905. 625,905,000 150,000 miles per hour. Whereas Silver the Hedgehog is using Super Silver 664 or 1,884,115 miles per hour. Pretty close, pretty close. Heck, when using his Ascended form, which is the only speed increase he has beyond Super Saiyan, he surpasses Silver's speed by going to 938,857,500 miles per hour. And as we all know, the Ultra Saiyan doesn't increase his speed, so that's the speed for Ultra Super Saiyan as well. Oh, but you want to know what's the problem? Silver still has his psychic boost, which allows him to increase his speed. And he can still fight while using it. So his speed, using the psychic boost on his Super Silver form, brings him up to 3,424,420,575 miles per hour. And you're probably wondering, how did I get that number? Well, his turbo boost allows him to go from around the speed of sound to about Mach 5. So adding that speed difference to his Super Silver state, it also is so the difference between those two, dividing the speed of sound, the Mach 5 speed by the speed of sound, taking that number and then multiplying it by his speed in his Super Silver form is how I got the number of 3,324,425,575 miles per hour. So Silver using his Super Silver form is way stronger and faster than Future Trunks. Heck, Future Trunks' stamina is dropping rapidly in this form. And one other thing I forgot to mention about the Super Silver form is when he drops out of the Super Silver form, because his time limit has run up, he's in peak physical condition. Future Trunks, on the other hand, will have his energy drained when he finally can't sustain any of his Super Saiyan forms. So, even if the fight went on to both of them dropped out of all their super forms and were in their base, Super Silver would be ready, would be in his peak in his base, whereas Future Trunks is going to probably be very, very tired and probably have a broken arm or two, because even at his maximum in his super forms, he is nowhere near Silver's speed and strength. So it doesn't really matter that Silver would telegraph his attacks. Just because, in the name of Rock Lee, just because you can see an attack coming, and know where it is, does not mean you can block it. You have to be fast enough to react. Act and stop it. And Silver's speed just trumps Future Trunks. Not only that, so I'm sorry, but this round had to go to Silver. Maybe when not maybe, probably. When I do the Dragon Ball Super stuff versus Silver, Silver's probably going to get his butt handed to him. So you can at least look forward to that. And sorry Silver had to kill future Trunks. Trunks, he was one of my favorite characters too.